Why una Ghana they complain? Now una use una mouth talk something and now una come dey feel regret for the thing una talk. Nigerian music no good, Nigerian music no good. Still yet we are the top. We dey all over the world, worldwide. Nigerian music worldwide. Without Nigerian music, I'm not sure say this world go fit function. No be mouth. Yes now una Ghana no wan accept the truth. You people don't have anything to offer. Yes, that's just the truth. Don't have anything to offer. Stop using yourself to compare because we are more than you guys. Like we are the toppest. Think una problem. Jealousy won't finish una. Ghana, jealousy won't finish una. Nonsense. They go they talk, they put shatter rubbish.
Okay, now time for we to educate one another, because of I see that Nigerians are taking this music thing to go far. Before you say something, make you no forget that before Nigeria got independent, Ghana fought for Nigeria. Before Nigerian be who, you want to tell me that somebody that fought independent for you, you are more bigger than that person? Is he somebody that make you know your route, somebody that make you know your way? But that one is not an issue. Okay, I'm coming for a minute.
You guys, you're from Nigeria. You're right by the water there. Eh? Why is it that Nigeria doesn't have power 24/7?
It's crazy.
When you could do hydro.
It's insane. But then you have to remember, a lot of the politicians out there, they're all invested in generator companies. Yeah. So it's like, what? Bro, everywhere you go in Nigeria,
the big ones
is generators everywhere. Bro.
So good for the environment.
Of course it's not. So, but you got to think about it. So
That is
you
mad.
telling them to invest in is that they're putting themselves out of business.
Yeah.
Would you know how insane this is?
It doesn't make sense. And the thing is, I believe Nigeria also outsources its electricity to other countries.
Yeah.
So how are you outsourcing when the source
It's also struggling.
You see?
I see my time.
What drives me crazy, you look at the infrastructure over here in the UK, how they've kind of built everything. I genuinely feel like there's a way you can make the system pay itself back, which is kind of like what they've done here. What the people are crying for, like you said, we have brilliant people like in Africa who don't have access to resources to be able to, like an outlet, to be able to actually show
potential,
because you mentioned something earlier on, in a compound with no light. How do you expect someone to read books in the dark with candles on? I expect like someone to invent the next generation car or wherever it is with no electricity. How do you expect some of these to work? Create the opportunity for people, but they're not going to do it. I don't know why.
You need solar panels.
By the way,
Create them.
we've got sun.
Do you understand?
It's crazy.
What me expect Nigeria to be doing is to fight, talking about the electricity that Nigerians did not get. That is what I'm supposed to be expecting Nigerians to fight about. It's not to put our energy towards Ghana, dragging Ghana. Instead, we dragging our government and sitting them down, talking about the electricity that we did not get. But in this video, it's all about educating you. Okay, now let's listening to what Ghanaians talking in their TV station about Nigeria. We also learn from there. If they are right, if they are not right, leave it on the comment sections and we'll move.
And then it will trickle down. Your emphasis is beyond the return. Your return is diaspora that you guys are targeting. What a way to make sure that it's just Ghana. It's what Kojo King was asking. You see, sometimes these Nigerians, they brought the Afro nation here, but they were making their headliners, dominate. Ghanaians getting a spot to play, unless you need to be hot. You should be popular based artist before they feature you on their platform. And you kept saying that the Afro future is for us, is by us. So what has for us, by us, got to do with a Burna Boy, a Davido standing on that platform? That's my question number one. And secondly, don't you think that with this diasporans coming, it would have been a fantastic idea for just the Saminis, the Shatawalis, the Stone Boy to be projected on the same level as the way that the Nigerians also did in Ghana? If indeed it's for us, it's by us.
Now we about to go in deep for some of you to learn. Yes, you know, in the 3 light video is for you to learn something. Now we are going deep. Yes, we are going to educate some people. Now we are going into the history between Nigerians and all Africa, Ghana. We are going to see small things. Small, we are viewing small viewing. It's not too much, just small. Who ready to learn, you learn. If you're not ready to learn, you pack on. But people that are ready to learn will move on. There's no fight, there's no hatred here. We are just going for facts. Directly facts. Let's go in. My name is Master Manager. Naija News. Stay for a minute.
Ghana's Kwame Nkrumah.
This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence. To independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
As Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana's founding father, as well as Africa's first post-colonial president south of the Sahara, would come to learn, this is the kind of thing one has to plan almost in secret and launch when ready, because as soon as you say it, you'll have a target on your back. From the moment that Nkrumah ascended to power, the CIA's eyes were tracking him and what was happening in Ghana from faraway Langley, Virginia. Nkrumah's ideologies were rooted in his vision of a United States of Africa. He believed that the only way for Africa to truly progress was through the creation of a federal state based on a common market.
Yes, today you have to learn some two things, and this is very, very important. And I just want to let some people to understand that Ghana has played a big role in Africa entirely. And when you are African and you are in Nigeria, you need to learn. When you watch this video small, at least you will learn something, how important Ghana be to Africa. Because I realize that majority of us Nigerians, we don't know how important Ghana be to us. Ghana is more important. They play a big role to entire African continent. Without Ghana, maybe today they may not be African, but because of Ghana, then we have African today. When you watch this from beginning or end, you understand the importance of Ghana. Listening to it.
Market, common currency, a unified army, and a common foreign policy that would enable Africa to solve internal conflicts as well as defend itself against external threats. Ghana's independence from Britain colonial rule in 1957 was not only significant for Ghana, but also for the rest of the continent. Consistent with his Independence Day declaration that Ghana's independence was meaningless unless it was linked with the total liberation of the entire continent, Nkrumah trained African liberation fighters, financed their movements, and encouraged them to send colonialists packing from their territories. It is no wonder that in less than a decade after Ghana's independence, more than 35 African countries also attained their own independence. It is also no wonder that according to some quarters, he had to be taken out by any means necessary. Nkrumah's efforts to unite Africa under one government and his anti-imperialist stance attracted the resentment.
It's not time we need to educate ourselves in Africa, because I find out that some of the youth of the new generations will come out on social media who know, like, it's like majority of all the youth of today, they don't really have time to go and read their history, because when you have time to read your history, I do not think you will come out boldly and attack Ghana or being on social media and attacking, insulting Ghana without insulting entire Ghana. Because when you know your history, I don't think you will come on social media and started insulting Ghana. Because I find out that majority of the youth of this day, they don't learn history in their school. Yes, of course, they don't learn history because when you know history and you know history about Ghana, you will know that Ghana is the gateway of Africa. Listen.
Of the West, particularly the United States. In his book, Dark Days in Ghana, Nkrumah alleged that the CIA and other intelligence agencies were actively plotting to undermine his government, using bribes and premises of political power to recruit traitors in his government. Although his critics dismissed these claims as delusional, declassified documents later proved that the CIA had orchestrated the plot to get rid of the man who, according to the files, did more to undermine American interests than any other black African. The US government was determined to get rid of Nkrumah before he managed to unite Africa under one government. They worked with senior Ghanaian military and police officers, supported by British and American diplomats and intelligence officers who provided long-term planning, financing, and logistical aid to mastermind Nkrumah's ouster. The UK and the US began discussions of
this video is to show you the importance of Ghana in our continent, Africa. Because I find out that some people don't really know the importance of Ghana in the entire African continent, especially who are those people that don't really know the importance of Ghana. Those people are my people, Nigeria, yes. Because I find out that majority of us Nigerians, we are not reading our history. Because when we go deep and read our history, we will understand boldly that these people, they are our leaders. They are like our colonial master, right? I can call them like, okay, Ghana is like our colonial master because they are part of the people that open before there will be Nigeria. If Ghana have not gotten independent by now, I don't think there will be Nigeria. Maybe there will be another name calling Nigeria. But listening first, I will listen to the video. Then I'll come and
regime change in Ghana in 1961, a whole 5 years before its actual execution. Details of plans from this time are mostly unknown, since declassified documents from this period remain censored. According to the US State Department at the time, Nkrumah's overpowering desire to export his brand of nationalism unquestionably made Ghana one of the foremost practitioners of subversion in Africa. He resisted economic policies proposed by the International Monetary Fund and reasserted by the World Bank. He was patron to a Bureau of African Affairs, which allegedly had agents supporting nationalist and opposition movements across Africa, like the Ivory Coast, Upper Volta, now Burkina Faso, Niger, Togo, Senegal, Cameroon, Liberia, and Nigeria, with the ultimate goal of assisting more radical leaders to get to positions.
As you can see from the explanations in this video, that show you that no, Ghana is very, very important to our continent, Africa. We need to give them the respect that they deserve instead of the new generation coming out dragging. They are the giants of Africans coming out without knowing your beginning, your generations, how you become the giants of Africa. You don't even know how you thought become the giants of Africa. Every day coming on social media, attacking and insulting. This video is to also let you know your foundations, how they become in Nigeria, how Nigerian found. That's what this video is all about. And I believe you will learn something.
Of power. He even mounted an offensive against apartheid South Africa, providing money and training to the military wing of the African National Congress. In the years leading to the coup, Washington withheld loans to Ghana and worked to lower world cocoa prices through stockpiling in order to deprive Nkrumah of much-needed foreign exchange. U.S. Ambassador Franklin Williams, one of the first African Americans to be ambassador, had presented his credentials to Nkrumah on January 17, 1966, a few weeks to the coup. But before taking up his position, he exchanged private correspondences with friends, bragging that he would soon be running the country. William's associations with US intelligence and the coup were a more disturbing brand of betrayal, considering Nkrumah's Pan-Africanism and his call for Ghana to be a haven for black artists, thinkers, and leaders. 3 weeks to the coup, and
this video is for you to learn a little things. I can't even say as much. You just learn a little. As when you are in Nigeria and other African country, just learn a little from this video because I can say a little. And this video is also to educate some of our new generation youth and part of them as well. Yes, because these days people that don't really know their own history coming out on social media everywhere, insulting, say this. So that is what this video is all about. Before, first go and learn your history. When you know more about your history, before coming out and insult, people will not know, say, yes, you know. But I think that majority of you coming out to insult did not know your history, 100%. I can say that they don't know because when you know your history, I don't think there's particular words they normally use, but I'll tell you later. I'm coming for a minute.
editorial in The Spark, a newspaper founded by Nkrumah, asked why the US would send an African-American ambassador to Ghana when they did not support racial equity in their own country and would surely not send a black ambassador to a European nation. There was speculation that Nkrumah saw his appointment as a sign of disrespect and felt that the US was sending a black ambassador to do their dirty work. On February 21, 1966, 3 days to the coup, Nkrumah went on a state visit to Vietnam to negotiate a peaceful settlement to the US war in Vietnam. The United States had encouraged him to go on the diplomatic mission and indeed promised to halt the bombing of North Vietnam in order to ensure his safety. Meanwhile, back home, a group of 600 soldiers stationed in the northern part of the country was ordered to start moving south to Accra, a distance of about 435 miles or 7.
I hope you have learned a lot and you are there to understand what this history is all about. For those of you who just joined us, or I don't know which time you started with, you can go to the beginning of the video and start for the explanations of the video. What this video is all about is to educate the new generation the new generation of Africa, especially majority of people from Nigeria, my country, because I just want them to know their history, where they are all coming from, how Africa exists. Because in this new day, because of social media, there's a lot of dragging, a lot of insult from Nigeria, Ghana, Nigeria, dragging one another, and that is what this history is all about. Because when you know your history, I don't think people coming out and insult listening to it.
100 kilometers. They were told at first that they were mobilizing to respond to the situation in southern Rhodesia. When they reached the capital, the coup leaders told the soldiers that Nkrumah was meeting with Vietnam President Ho Chi Minh in preparation for deployment of Ghanaian soldiers to the Vietnam War. Later, the soldiers were told they were going to be deployed in southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, to fight against the white government of Ian Smith. So the coup plotters riled up the soldiers and justified their takeover by charging that Nkrumah's administration was abusive and corrupt. They explained that they were disturbed by Kwame Nkrumah's aggressive involvement in African politics and by his belief that Ghanaian troops could be sent anywhere in Africa to fight so-called liberation wars, even though they never did so. Above all, they pointed to the absence of democratic practices in the nation, a situation they claimed had affected morale of the armed forces. The soldiers were divided up and led to capture various key government installations. The State Broadcasting House and the International Communication buildings were captured quickly. The heaviest fighting broke out at the Flagstaff House, which was the presidential residence. But when...
I just want to thank you for your time, and I just want to also ask you, if you are on the comment section, what do you really learn so far in this history? And when you are in Nigeria, I don't know if you're coming to fight me or you're coming to drag, but what do you really learn? Before you come out and insult Ghana. Ghana is so important to our new generation because Nigeria cannot do without Ghana. 100%. I'll tell you that we Nigerians we cannot do because they are our foundations. Ghana is our own foundation. Before there be Nigeria, now Ghana make there be Nigeria. When you are in Nigeria, always try to understand that Ghana is our foundation. Without Ghana, I don't think there will be Nigerian today because Ghana have independent first before other Africa. But listening,
Colonel E.K. Kokota threatened to bomb the presidential residence if resistance continued. Nkrumah's wife, Fathia Nkrumah, advised the guards to surrender. The coup leaders informed the public of the regime change over the radio at dawn on February 24, 1966. On the ground, senior officials of the Ghana army carried out the coup as the U.S. intelligence agency pulled the strings and called the shots from behind the scenes. The coup statement over the radio was as follows: "Fellow citizens of Ghana, I have come to inform you that the military, in cooperation with the Ghana police, have taken over the government of Ghana today. The myth surrounding Nkrumah has been broken. Parliament is dissolved and Kwame Nkrumah is dismissed from office. All ministers are also dismissed. The ruling Convention People's Party is disbanded with effect from now. It will be illegal for any person to belong to it." On the other side of the world in Vietnam, a 50-man entourage accompanying Dr. Nkrumah ended up deserting him. A CIA telegram informed Washington of the coup.
I advise the new generations of, these new generations of, it's like freedom of speech. You can say anything you want to say, but I advise you go and learn your history before coming out insulting the people that are favoring you. Especially, I'm talking to Nigeria now, because when in today's social media, when you go for today's social media, you will see a lot of insult. Nigeria insulting Ghana, Ghana insulting Nigeria. Two people are joined, but let's just be honest and be fair. Ghana play a big role in Nigeria. No fact about that. When you are in Nigeria, you should know that without Ghana, I don't really think there will be a Nigeria, because Ghana helped Nigeria to gain our independence. We should give them the respect. How can we respecting them? But let's finish the video, then I'll give you highlight of that.
And said the coup leaders appear to be implementing the plans they were reported earlier to have agreed on for the immediate post-coup period. According to the military, 20 members of the Presidential Guard had been killed and 25 wounded. Others suggest a death toll of 1,600. Whatever the number of the dead, it was far from the bloodless coup reported in the British press. After the coup, Nkrumah went into exile. He sought refuge from his close ally, Sekou Touré, the president of Guinea, who made him an honorary co-president of that country. An ex-CIA whistleblower stationed in Africa, John Stockwell, made comments about the role of the CIA in Nkrumah's downfall. Part of his account said, Howard Bain, who was the CIA station chief in Accra, engineered the overthrow of Kwame Nkrumah. Inside the CIA, it was quite clear. Howard Bain got a double promotion and was awarded Intelligence Star for the overthrow of Kwame. The magic of it was that Howard Bain had enough imagination and drive to run this operation without ever documenting what he was doing, and there wasn't one shred of paper that was generated that would name the CIA hierarchy as being responsible. While Nkrumah's policies were seen as socialist-leaning and aligned with communism.
As you can see, I hope today I will bring in the history to the end here, and we continue another day. When you are in Nigeria, anywhere you are around the world, go and learn your history. Who are your first father? Who make you who you are today? Who is the history of who is the pillar of your country? Go and learn and know the pillar who is your foundations. It's very important to know your foundation, because when you know your foundations, I don't really think you come out and drag, or because I see that we are lack knowledge. Yes, I'm sorry using the word that we lack. Yes, we lack, of course, because we don't really know our foundations and our history. Because it's just like your junior and your senior. Junior cannot just coming out and started insulting senior on no reason. There must be reason. Just like now, who is the junior? Nigeria is the junior to Ghana, and why the children of the juniors always come to insulting these children of the senior. That is what Nigerians are doing now. Nigerians is the junior, and why Ghana is the senior. Now, it's like when the senior coming out, oh, my brother, my sister, Mugna come and supporting me, it's become an insult from the senior, from the junior, sorry. Who are the junior? Junior is a Nigeria, and why senior is a Ghana. But the senior always come to say, oh, junior, oh, this is your time to support me, because if the senior make you who you are today as a Nigerian, we should always understand that without the senior, there will not be foundations of Nigeria. Anytime Ghana coming out say, oh, Nigeria come and support me, there's nothing bad about it. You have to keep that relationship. We should not see ourselves as enemy. Okay? God bless everybody. My name is Master Manager Naija News, and I will come back again with the remaining of the history in this video. God bless you.